Good morning, folks. If you can see me and hear me, please tell me that it is working. It is Wednesday, and I will waffle until somebody says that it is working. Keith, first in the chat, and also first to confirm that things are working loud and clear, which is excellent. Saying hi to folks in the chat. There's Keith, like I said, first in too, which is wild. Good to see you here, and our friend Game Guy. And Jen, folding laundry, making use of the time. As a mother, as a parent, I can totally understand multitasking. It's pretty common for me to listen to something while doing dishes or picking up because that's the only time it happens. And Zach and Sonia and Margaret, folks. Well, I am here. Even though I was honestly feeling like maybe I wouldn't be here today, not feeling my best personally, but part of there's the notification. YouTube is telling me I'm streaming live. Thank you, YouTube. Yeah, part of making this business, part of making it in this business, part of being accountable is getting to this chair sometimes, even when I don't feel like it. It doesn't mean that I have to have the most productive day ever in all of the world and all of history. It just means that I need to do something. I was looking at the Icarus accountability spreadsheet right before hitting the go live button. For one, I need to create the September tab or get around to doing it. But also, I realized it's the last day of the month and I still have 8 articles to go. 8 articles to go. I'm like writing that down right now. And then I checked my articles outsourcing queue, and there's one over there, one of the 4. So that means that to meet my goal for the month, I have 7 articles to do. The jury is out whether or not that will happen. Well, do I think I will finish? I don't know, but at the same time, if I don't, I'm gonna be all right with it because I still managed to get a ton done, and I'm gonna be kind to myself. I see in the chat, I see Benji's dad. There's our friend Chris dropping in the chat. How's it going? And there is Ann Travel. And I saw you left a comment on one of my, on a video or a community post recently. It's good to see you back. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hello from Bangkok. I bet you it is a weird time in the morning for you right now. So thank you for being here. You know, one thing that Chris Miles does better, I think, than most of us YouTubers is he is consistent about posting content and is also experimenting, expanding, trying out new things. So I've seen him recently on Facebook doing reels, and I totally respect all of that. Even if it doesn't necessarily turn out the way that you were hoping, and you know the cash is not raining from the heavens as the result, there's always skills to be learned from all of that. So I just totally appreciate and wanted to shout out this can-do attitude, I can try attitude, can learn attitude. So well done. I see Joanne says she's starting back in September. We look forward to seeing you there. There is Sabina jumping in. Happy Wednesday. Cash from the heavens, right? If only it would just rain down, but only on me and the select few of folks that I would choose. Because if cash rained down for everyone, then it would be meaningless. And Harold, often in the background, lurking and working. Welcome, friend. And Simplify Gardening. Haven't seen you in the chat for a while. It's great to see you. So the elephant, or maybe the mouse in the room, is the helpful content update. So when we were talking about this last week, there was a lot of trepidation, concern, anxiety. That's me. About what was going to happen. And then, you know, we were trying to guess when is it going to launch. And then basically right after that, it happened. And so far, most of what I am hearing from folks is while there are cases, I know of a few and have been reported from a few people that they have taken some heavy hits. It seems like most people are not being hammered by this. And I think it's so interesting that when the news came out about this, first of all, everybody freaked out. And then so many, I don't want to say gurus, the experts, were saying that this was going to be one of the biggest updates, that things were going, and I'm going to knock on wood right now. This is the sound of me knocking on wood, because everything could be changing literally this minute as I speak. Tempting fate. But some of the opinions were that this would be the biggest update since Panda, right? That we would see full scale slaughter and everybody crying tears in their beers or their coffee. But so far it is not wholesale Armageddon. I will ask though in the chat what you are seeing. So are you seeing down? Are you seeing up? And I will tell you also what I have been seeing, which was unexpected. While people jump in the chat and say nothing, all clear, or yes, I got hit, so we can commiserate with you, or I have no idea what you're talking about. Please move on. So the one site that I have really noticed a major change to is actually I'm wearing the shirt today, my Otis.global age study site. So what happened in May to this site was that it was chugging along. I was getting excited and ready to be posting a lot of content to it. It seemed to be out of the sandbox, whatever the sandbox was, and traffic is growing, and the articles in SERP Robot were popping, and I'm like, all signs say full steam ahead. And then here comes the May 2022 update, and basically, like, almost all of the articles were de-indexed. Google Search Console said, oh, no, for sure they're indexed. They're in there. But they were not found in SERP Robot, and they weren't showing up in the SERPs, and I didn't believe Google at all. So, however, on Wednesday, right after Wednesday, I think the data was for Thursday, I was looking at Google Search Console, and that's actually what I have up right now, was that I just checked it, and then the purple line for that day just went like, it was going, and then just went pop like that. I am, let's see, seeing if I can show it to you on my phone without like giving away my social security number. And so this is what it looks like. That's what that particular site looks like. So you can see over here, this was May, and then it went, and then that is the impact so far of the update. I'll show you the click side of it too. And that's the click side of it also. So, upside for this particular site was that it appears to have caused the site to index basically all in one day. And I also saw the data backed up in SERP Robot. I mean, Google Search Console said everything was indexed already and everything was fine. So as far as the articles, like the coverage tab, that's all the same. But in the impressions and the clicks obviously are different. And then as of right now, there are 110 out of the 120 articles are now found in SERP Robot. And the day before the impact of the update, there were only 25 of them indexed. So I don't know who, what, when, where, why, or how. I have written very little of the content for this site. Most of the content has either been outsourced or generated with Jasper. So if the people, I don't know what the takeaway is from this. I don't know. I just want to throw that out there and say, okay, that happened. And lo and behold, the fight site has basically seen no impact whatsoever from this. But I also wanted to show you, as long as I have my phone out and I'm looking at stats, I wanted to show you the Mega site, because I think the 3-month window will show the May update, and then it will also show you the impact of. So this here, yeah, I guess you can't really see the impact of the May update. It's sort of like fallen out of the window, but you can see for the purple line, for this update, so the helpful content update, that is what happened. But sadly, the clicks did not follow it. So the site is getting more impressions. Honestly, I have not been tracking all of the keywords for the site anymore because there are more than 1,000, just 1,000 articles. And so it's unwieldy and expensive to track all the keywords for it. So it could be that some of the articles had fallen out of the indexed or indexed index or just no longer being shown for whatever reason. And then those have been re-indexed and are now getting impressions. This site was hit by one of the so-called like snippet bans. And so I'm guessing is that the reason the site is not, the clicks haven't bounced up with the impressions is that the snippets haven't come back. So there are more articles being seen, and I haven't checked. I guess I could check the average position, right? It's like the average position better or worse, not the CTR. That's silly. So the average position, however, I mean, it has improved some, but not an extraordinary amount. Not enough to put it at like, like 1, 2, or 3. It just moved from, an average of like 10 or 12 and is now in the range of like 9 or 11, like in that range. So I guess I'm happy that I'm not here suffering and being upset. You part of you, and you don't want to say this out loud because you don't want to tempt fate, but you would love to go through one of these updates and just see your site like just like straight to the moon, like get this massive, amazing, like all this work, and all of a sudden now I'm making all of my dreams have come true, and I can buy that in France somewhere and start running an Airbnb or whatever, bed and breakfast. B&B, is that what we used to call them back when such things existed? Everything is an Airbnb now. But anyway, so that was my helpful content experience so far. I honestly have not checked the rest of the sites in my portfolio because I ignore them and they just do what they do. And checking them isn't going to change what I'm doing on a daily basis. Checking the chat because it has moved on in my rant and ramble. I see that Chris says the sky is always falling. And that is what makes people click on things, is when they think that the sky is falling. Uh, Cash from the heavens. And says, I've not been hit. My traffic is still continuing to grow steadily, which is probably the best all the way around. It would be awesome to gain a windfall, but windfalls seem to imply that that could be taken away in the next Google adjustment. Probably better just to continue to grow steadily and smoothly. Bloom later says, my site is almost 1 year old and I don't have any traffic. I heard John Dykstra saying that if you're not building links, don't expect much from your blog for the first year. Well, that's true, kind of. It's kind of not true, kind of. So much of it depends on your niche, on your skills, on the content that you've created. Some niches you're going to need links. Like some of them are either really competitive or just the nature of it, like these YMYL niches where to get the authority that you would need in the eyes of Google, you would need backlinks to show Google that this particular topic, on this particular topic, in this particular niche, they should send traffic there. But I cannot necessarily agree with it as a broad, general, overall statement, simply because I've managed to make at least one site successful in 12 months without trying to build backlinks at all. And for me, success, it may be different than what success is for you or for John Dykstra, to be honest. Because for me, if I can, sitting here at my computer in my dirty house with my children running around, get a site from $0 to $1,000 a month in 12 months with, I would say, minimal, like some investment, but minimal investment, I would say that's a success. But $1,000 a month for some of the big dogs would be considered not a success. That would be a fail. So I don't know what I'm going to put up my air quotes, expect for you. But I can absolutely and totally understand the feelings of frustration and disbelief. The vulnerability, like I've done all this work and a year has gone on and the site is still not doing anything. If your site has 0 traffic and it has been 12 months and you have 125 articles, I don't generally recommend that. I generally don't recommend that people go and spend money to do consultations, to do conferences, to do site reviews, at least until a site is a bit older. But I feel like at 12 months, if you are continuing to invest in the site and you're planning on continuing to invest in the site and there's still no traffic, this could be a good time to invest in an hour of the time of someone that does site reviews, or to submit your site for a site review on one of the channels that does reviews. This would be a great opportunity to troubleshoot whether or not maybe there's something that's going on. I mean, when you say there's 0 traffic, that's different for me than like minimal traffic, because if you say it's 0 every single day, like every single day across the board, except for you or your staff going to look at it, then to me that screams of potential technical problems. It just seems so unlikely that you wouldn't see anything at all. But if it's minimal traffic, meaning that everything is functioning and working and people should be able to find themselves there, I would absolutely start investigating. I feel like 12 months is a great time to start investigating to see what's truly going wrong and what you can do to fix it. I have a question like other data. I mean, are you tracking keywords? And if so, where are they? Like, where are they ranked? Because that would tell me something. What do things look like in Google Search Console? Like, how many impressions is the site seeing? Is it getting any impressions? Because if the answer is no, that might be a problem. What does indexing look like? I have so many questions, and we could draw conclusions all day long, but until we have more of the picture of what's going on, then it's hard for us to say what's up. I do wish all of the best for you, though, and you say that I really hope in the near future that it starts to pick up, and us too, because all of us have been right there sitting on a project that isn't doing what we wish it would be, that we would like it to be, and feeling frustrated about it. Sonia says that she's seeing a 20% increase, which is awesome, but honestly could be the content you're publishing. Hey, also awesome. You have to remind me of our current goal now, because the goal itself now is not just traffic, it's US traffic. So how are we measuring this? We say, okay, I am X amount closer to my goal of overcoming a certain threshold of US traffic. So tell me, how close are we to that? Because when that happens, you're going to reapply for the ad network you want, and then we're going to cheer for you in the background and hope for the best. Jen says that she's at 40% on Google, which is awesome, but it was already trending that way this month, which is great. Margaret says no change at all from what she can see, which is still acceptable. I'll take that. Jen says that her site is in month 8, so that could be the hockey stick. That could be coming out of the sandbox. That could be Google finally taking notice. And what a great time to take notice, right? During an update. Simplify Gardening says mine is on a slight increase, which we will take. I mean, and if the rumbles are that some of the big people also ask AI sites have been de-indexed and taken down. So if they're, depending on your niche, that could be like the trickle down effect to the rest of us, could be these massive sites with millions of posts. Like that could be the impact of it. It's hard to say. Our friend Game Guy says 2 sites all clear, 1 site destroyed. Yeah, I knew that had happened, and I'm like was totally sorry to hear about that. He says, to be fair, it was lower tier quality in my opinion. I feel like it's so early to say though what specifically was targeted, right? Like what specifically we did wrong or did right. Chris says, I'm holding steady across the sites, but my DR on one site jumped 20 points. Interesting. I don't know if Ahrefs keeps up with algo updates, but it is strange. I do know that Ahrefs updates their system, their own personal company-wide algorithm from time to time. So I have seen my domain rating on Ahrefs one day be one thing and then check it the next day and to be something wildly different, usually down, without seeing a corresponding change in like links or other things. So it could be something that Ahrefs was doing as far. Hey, I will not stare gift horse in the mouth, though. I will like say, hooray, like that's still good. Every time you can get the DR pumped up a little bit, it helps you avoid the Tomb Raiders. Savina says, my sites have seen zero impact, and I will call that a win. Let's call that a win. Winning. Hashtag winning. Harold says, none of my sites have been impacted so far either way. Also, hashtag winning. Jen says, lots of chatter about AI sites being de-indexed, but all the ones in my realm are still hanging on steady. Darn it. Darn it, darn it. John drops in to, says, I'm on a bus in Santorini, so I'm too busy to listen into the stream. I'll just have to do it later. Have fun, John. And when you come back, you will know that while we were jealous, we wish you the best trip ever. Sachs has no change in his case, except that the Seychelles check traffic has almost dropped off. All right. Still a mystery to me. Somebody may know what it is and what it all means, but I don't yet. So feel free to explain to me. I know that there were a lot of sites that were getting this mysterious traffic. There were a lot of speculation that it was part of the update, the pre-update, because Google may or may not have centers nearby those places. I don't know. Sonia said, had my first $400 a month. Yes, that's awesome. A year ago, I was struggling to make even $10. Gives her hope that she will reach $1,000 soon. Well, dear, this is this a golf clap? I'm so proud of you for working super hard, and it's just a great testament to what can be done if you continue to do the work, and you did the work, and if you keep doing the work, I believe you're going to get there. So that is great. There is Niche Safari Chris. He says he forgot again. I feel like Chris might be on the other line of this, having rolled out of bed and is drinking a cup of coffee, going kind of like that. That's how I imagine you, Chris, right now, is like sort of sleepy, drinking caffeine. Akash says he's first time on the stream. Hi from India. I say, hey, what's up? Thank you for dropping in. I know this is a really odd time in the evening or in the night for you, so we especially appreciate folks from your side of the world popping in at this time slot, because I know it is so inconvenient. Make sure that you use this time to ask questions or to network or talk to people, because people in the chat are generally pretty friendly and often know much more than I do. So I honestly, it surprises me that more people don't make use of the chat, because the expertise in there is it's kind of shocking, actually, that y'all don't have something better to do than show up here at this time and have coffee with me. Oh, Sonia says US traffic is only 30%, but I'm currently working on US topics, so hopefully in a couple of months I'll reach my goal. Tier 1 total is 42%. So we're trying to get to over 50%, or are we trying to get to over 60%, or just as high as possible? I just need to know how close you are to winning. Then later says, thank you. I say, you're welcome. Says, yeah, there are impressions. Okay, so tech is not the problem then. The site is indexed, or at least some of it is indexed, and things are working. Seem to be picking up, which is good. He says, I think I will give it another 3 to 6 months before giving up. Well, some niches take longer. They just do. Some topics take longer. They just do. So I think that being conservative about it, about making the decision to quit or not, I think it's good, because you've already put 12 months into it, and money, I'm imagining, or time, so it seems worthwhile to continue to work on it, especially if you're starting to see some growth. I mean, in 3 to 6 months, if it's still really quiet, I mean, maybe pursuing links will supercharge it. Maybe that will be the blast that it needs. And the site is AdSense approved, which is awesome. Good for you. 15 days ago, that's a great hump to get over. Zach said that he launched his site's first TikTok, Instagram, YouTube short yesterday. So is there dancing? I don't even know. All I knew at one point there was this renegade thing. I'm so old. Oh my God. I was planning on waiting until Q1, but my partner had a couple videos go viral and it inspired me. Yes, the little green monster strikes again. Watching other people succeed, and you're like, why not me? And then we like dive into something. Well, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear more about TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I think it will be very fun and exciting to hear how that goes. Akash says it is 11 p.m. Yes, it's shockingly late there. So thank you for being here. He said he recently restarted blogging after 4 long years and learned from the internet. I believe knowledge is everywhere. And I agree with you. There are many good people who are in this industry who are selling courses, which is totally fine. But there is a lot of information that can be learned for free that is that is accurate and good. You just have to sift through it. You have to find creators that you like and that you trust and that speak to you and that you see that their results and their strategies are the ones that you would like to pursue. And then I don't think a course is necessary. I do think though that courses can help, the right courses. So yeah, I'll get off that soapbox. I don't know how I got on there. Sonia says she doesn't know what media buying needs, 50 or 60%. She says, I guess 50% is more attainable goal now. Well, 50% seems like a good goal to reach towards. And once you get there, you can move on from there. Akash says he started 2 blogs and posting content regularly. Started freelancing services, content writing, and keyword research. You know, freelancing, and I have said this before, and I will continue to say it. I think freelance blogging, so writing blog posts for other websites, is a fantastic way to get better at writing content. So you see how other people do it. You see what their edits are. You see what their changes are. You see what you deliver, and then either their comments back or what they do to it to get it ready to post. There's just so much that can be learned there from people who are already making it happen. And in the meantime, hopefully you can make some money that you can use to pay your bills or to fund your other projects. Zach says no dancing. See, it's like a slippery slope, right? You get on TikTok and you swear up and down, I will never do dancing. Never, right? I'm old, I'll never happen. And then 6 months from now, you're going to be like, I just know it. It's kind of like on YouTube where people get on YouTube and they swear up and down that they're never going to make those funny face thumbnails where they look shocked, right? They look like somebody just stabbed them in the stomach. And then, because those are the clickbait ones. And then a year later, like scrolling through the feed, you're like, oh, there they are. There they are. Sabina, oh, a win. Oh, I'm so excited for you. She says she hosted her first live webinar and had 10 attendees and collected 23 emails. Well done, dear. There's so many things that I love about this. One is you stepped out of your comfort zone and set up a webinar, told people about it, prepared for it, hosted it, to be presented in it, collected emails, and then I mean I do this live stream once a week, and having more than 20 people in the chat is a challenge. And so I know that when you get even 10 people, there's so much you want to say and like people you want to talk to. So that's just a great step to whatever is next in that particular project or business. It's like making that first dollar, right? It proves this can work, right? I could do this. If I can make $1, I can make 10. If I can make 10, I can make 100. If you can make 400, like Sonia, you can make 1,000. Eric, what's going on? Thank you for dropping in the chat. Eric, I have always appreciated having you in the spreadsheet and like leaving comments on other people's columns. Speaking of which, it's the last day of the month. Everybody who's in the accountability spreadsheet should head over there and read everybody's progress and leave a comment. If it doesn't happen before after I get done, if it doesn't happen before the end of the stream, I will go over there today and make sure to create a September tab for those of you who want to hang out with us. Sabina says that, that her webinar was the start of a funnel for her service business. He says, I gave some good advice. It seems like it happens rarely, but it did happen today. Taking freelancing writing gigs to improve writing skills. I believe it is, I concur with your advice. My advice. I advise your opinion about my advice. I agree. Chris says that, talking to Sonia about Mediavine, says, if Mediavine rejects you, just keep building traffic and reapply. In my experience, if you've got a ton of traffic, they'll accept you even if you have lower tier. Okay, that's interesting. So you have two options, right? Mediavine rejects you and says that they don't like the amount of traffic that you have from tier 1 countries, United States, UK, Canada, etc. You could double down on the US, or you could just double down on traffic, right? So maybe when you have 200,000 visitors a month and the US traffic is still 30%, that's still dramatically more tier 1 visitors, even though it's only 30%, right? 30% of 50,000 sessions versus 30% of 200,000 sessions. That's a lot more tier 1 eyeballs. So that's good advice. Eric says that the new job since April is taking a lot of time and energy. If only we didn't have to work. Zach says, LOL, I never said never dancing. He said, I will get my clogging shoes out if it'll build follower. I'll tell you what, your first dancing video, you really have to share it with us. We will go there when you launch it, and then we will, whatever the social signals are to see if we can boost it up. I think a video of you clogging. First of all, I've not spoken to you in person, and your face on my screen is like that big. But then it would be cool to see the dancing. I think that would be great. Keith says, haha, I was one of those people saying I wouldn't do the weird thumbnail pics, and then guess what? I did do it. I was going to name no names. I wasn't going to call anybody out on this. I have not caved yet. I have gotten away from always being like in the pictures. Like sometimes I will not smile or will look sideways, but I still have not been able to bring myself to do the crazy fake like surprise face. I just can't do it. Sonia says, talking about reapplying to Mediavine. Eric says, thanking Chris for his tips. Planning on applying at the end of September, which is awesome. Tony says that folks need to take the time to learn and not put so much pressure on themselves when it's not perfect. So that is an interesting point. And it's something that I've really been thinking a lot about this summer. And I will say basically since the May update, right, when I had a lot of momentum that just sort of got smushed down, thinking really hard about what helps people, what will help me personally, selfishly, like make it in the long term in this business, and looking at the people who are successful, the things that they are done, have done, are doing. It seems like getting away from focusing on, did I achieve this goal today versus, what have I done to learn? Like, what have I done to grow? Am I growing in this? It was probably some Jim Rohn, like motivational speech that rolled into, I was watching a YouTube video, I'm sure. And then Jim Rohn comes on, and, sometimes I listen to them purposefully, or they're on the background. I forget about them. But he said, what was the quote? It had to do, I think I even wrote it down, and I've said it before. It had to do with work hard on yourself, not on your job. And how that plays out for us in our websites, right? We work hard on our websites, but not necessarily on ourselves. And so then you could get 4 years down the road working on your websites and not having really worked on yourself all that much. So maybe you're not necessarily any different in 4 years. Maybe you don't necessarily have any more skills, You haven't necessarily learned all you could. And so, yeah, it's like, it's there. I wrote it down. It says, work hard on yourself, not on your job. Um, because then what happens if Google comes in and just like, axe murders all of your portfolio? You will at least have some amazing skills that you could fall back on to go and do something else with. But if in the meantime, that your sites are gone, and then you have not built yourself, you have not worked on yourself, you have not grown in that time, then it's going to place you in a position of being, it's like a much more vulnerable position than you are right now. I'm checking my list of things that I had planned to talk about. And so far, there were 3 things. I was going to talk about my Otis case study site, which I did, which dovetailed into the helpful content update, which is wah wah. And then accountability. Yeah, gosh, accountability statement. I've got 8 articles to go, and Writer Access says that I have 1 waiting. So I've got to do 7 articles by the end of today. I think I'm going to get there. I'm going to try to get there. But how about y'all? Like, how was the month of August? What were the challenges for the month? I've heard some of the wins, and some people who have had traffic improve during the update or in this month. Looking back, for folks that started sites in January is either part of the Icarus project or just because they had started sites recently. This is the time, right, where many sites that they have not taken off yet will start to do so. And so it can be a really exciting time, a really motivating time. So I'd love to hear about any of those things. For me, my goal was to try to get over 300 articles on the fight site this month. I'm going to be close, but I'm like rushing headlong at trying to cross 500 articles for that site. And then we'll see what it does, how it goes. It's growing really slowly. Like, it's like super flat right now. So I like really got fingers crossed that an infusion of 100 new articles in a really short amount of time will hopefully jumpstart things and help me build some momentum so I can get really fired up to work on this project. Josh Coop says, late to the party. Still at home, wiping sweat. Josh, like, is it cooled off yet there in Texas, or are you still laboring under extreme working conditions? Devin, what's going on? I haven't seen you in the chat for a while. You have to let us know what's going on with you. Chris says, back to Sonia, he said he had similar tier 1 traffic, and he'd say keep applying every 3 months until they let you in. And if you reach 100,000, knock on the door of AdThrive as well. He said AdThrive accepted him at 42% of tier 1. There you go. Josh says Mediavine has no 25,000 early site. Adding now, yep. So Mediavine Pro, right? Isn't that what it's called? Mediavine Pro, not Mediavine Grow, Mediavine Pro. I just saw a notice, a news press release, a Facebook post that Mediavine is doing a pro version of their ad network services for sites that are making over $100,000 in a year, and they're going to give the people in the program a higher percentage of the ad revenue share. I assume that they will have maybe more access to support, and it will also allow them to bring in their smaller sites more easily. Like, just instead of doing it, whenever they feel like they actually have an established policy and a plan for it. Jen says that she loves seeing other people's site journeys, but she only competes against her last month. So if she increases in sessions or revenue, I call it a huge win. I think that is healthier, as long as you can handle it. If for some reason this month is not better than last month, and then what happens? Like, how do you feel? Josh says so far he's grown 100% on the project site this month. That is awesome. That's great to hear, and well done. As far as the AC goes, his air conditioning, he says, nope, replacement part failed. So still sweating it out. That stinks. Can't wait for you to be comfortable once again once Texas is no longer a sweltering hot. Game Guy says for his goal for the month for accountability, he says, I'll be close for words published. He said he only did 2 videos with a goal of 3. I also have a video to make, and I've got to do it today. Yeah, let's do that today. Josh says, still no AC. Rain came through, so it was like 12 degrees cooler overall. 12 degrees makes a difference, especially with the rain, because it feels so cool. Our friend niche site, Jojo. Thanks for dropping in. We have not seen you in quite some time, actually. So now I'm like going to go over to YouTube and wonder now if you've posted any videos lately. I feel like somewhere earlier in the year or last year, you were gonna go gung-ho on YouTube, and then got a couple hundred subscribers, which is awesome. And then, yeah, what's going on? So I saw that you updated your channel intro, which is progress. But what happened? Where you been? Still working? Please tell us. We all want to know. Said, I'm finishing my course and will be starting back up soon. No, yeah. Oh, I remember your daughter was having some medical troubles, and I do remember that now. How is she doing? Is she doing okay? I mean, of course, like all good thoughts and feelings and healing, like sending that on to the universe for you and her. But really hoping that that's okay. Either way, it's great to see you back. I wasn't like feeling, I didn't want to shame you for being gone. I did want to welcome you back and also remind people that our friend Niche Site Dojo has a YouTube channel and he posts about his niche sites, and I think we should support him. So there. He says she's better with some small lingering effects. Well, the upside is that when this happens to children when they're young, it gives them a lot of time to grow and to learn to accommodate and to overcome things. Whereas us old people, if something bad happens to us, we're just too stubborn and too set in our ways to do anything about it. And then we just become grumpy. So in the meantime, he's selling a site for $300,000 and we'll make a video about it. Well done. Eric says, and you know what? I don't know what. Let me hear what. He says, I became aware of the group here exactly last year at the beginning of September. Time is flying. Oh my God. Has it been a year since you found us and became one of us? Super, super happy to be around everybody. Me too. And to be motivated by the accountability group. It's great to have you here. And it's just shocking to me how fast the time is going, how the time is. Anyway, folks, I'm looking at the time, looking at the stuff, the amount of stuff I have to do. And I'm going to get off here. And I mean, I'm going to end this stream before my mind goes into the gutter and I say anything more ridiculous. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I will see you next Wednesday. I hope next Wednesday is the first day all of my children will be going to school. And so I think I should be here, but who knows what will happen. All right. Take care, everybody.